How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what the? Why did the animation screw up over there? For some reason, the animations went all wonky, but hopefully everything is good. How's everyone doing? Welcome to a brand new week. It's Monday. That means it's Kill Tony Day. That means it's time to wrap up the stream, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. No, I'm joking. Kill Tony starts in an hour, so that gives me perfectly an hour to talk about the markets, talk about all the things that moved today. And I'll be honest, I woke up, I looked at the earnings calendar, and I said, you know what? I'll take an extra day on the vacation. I'll take the extra day on the staycation, extra day on the vacation, and start going into work from tomorrow, because that's when all the fun is basically starting. Apparently tomorrow is also CPI day, so that's going to be interesting. CPI coming up tomorrow. Bunch of banks reporting: JP Morgan, State Street, Wells Fargo, Citibank, Black Street. No, anyways. You know, bunch of BlackRock, bunch of banks reporting tomorrow. That's going to be interesting for the banking sector, obviously. We'll see if SoFi could catch some traction off of some possible good news off of the earnings reports over here. The XLF, the financial ETF, has been very, very strong so far, based off of what the overall market has been doing, right? Financial ETF has been doing pretty well. Maybe we see some sort of a slowdown in the growth going into the middle half of the year now, and then pick back again going into the end of the year. So just expecting how possibilities could play out, but you know, our job is not to predict, it's to play out the scenarios that the market gives us. And with my quick little scan, I found some very good charts today, which actually gets me excited to go back into the office starting tomorrow. So a bunch of charts that I scanned for us. Can't wait to talk about it. So why don't we head over to the full screen. If you guys have any stocks that you want me to take a look at specifically, throw it in the chat, and obviously we'll start taking a look at that. Two positions that actually Barkgate wanted me to take a look at. He tweeted them out at me today. TTD and NBIS. So yes, we'll take a look at that for Barkgate. However, I don't think he's in the chat today, probably because of his work and so on. So we're gonna take a look at that name for him later on in the stream. Okay, I was looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin obviously rallying again, going into 124,000 high area, or I should say 123,000 high area. Rejecting from that a little bit, pulling back to the south side, and getting back under, let's say, 1,000 to 120,000, getting back under 120,000 overall. But you know, this is an insane rally right now, and people are throwing all kinds of price targets. You know, I don't really throw out price targets, but one thing that you could always look to do is look for measured moves. So if the stock has made one measured move already, that would make sense why we kind of see a little bit of a reject from that area, possible profit taking coming into play on that move up, and then every measured move from there. You can even do this low as the measured move. It's all subjective, depending on how you're looking at your levels and so on. So if you're looking at you know, a couple measured moves, you can possibly expect somewhere into 135, 140 area coming into play before the end of the year, just as an idea of what could be a good target where we can start offloading our Bitcoins or other positions that we are involved in, such as IBIT or MSTU and so on. Today I actually cut some of my MSTU position after it made this beautiful run up into that previous resistance area. MSTR had a beautiful run up today. Back above the 400, actually closing above 450 today, which I thought was pretty bullish. So MSTR going up to the north side. Coinbase obviously has been going up for the last, how long now, for like a few weeks in a row. So Coinbase, another name to take a look at. Cryptocurrency is the name of the game, but I think tomorrow, today is actually crypto week, right? Today starts crypto week in the White House, surprisingly enough. I think not enough chatter was going on about that. You know, I was expecting a lot more chatter from that, but almost no chatter came around on the social media from that catalyst. However, you know, the catalyst has been in play and it's been taking the markets higher. The other catalyst that's going to be in play starting tomorrow is the earnings season. Earnings season is here. Surprised to see banks reporting on a Tuesday. Usually it's on a Friday, but I guess it's just, you know, how the calendar plays out. It doesn't really matter what day it is, as long as, you know, we're prepared for it. So obviously a bunch of names reporting earnings today already, and more names reporting every single day of the week, which gets me very excited. So shout out to Perplexity Finance, because right before the earnings season starts over here, they are now hooking you up with awesome tools at your disposal over here to quickly take a look at all the stocks that are reporting on the day today, or will be reporting the next day. You'll see exactly what time their conference calls are. You can click on the stock at that time, and then you'll see a live transcript of the conference call as it's playing out. So tons of features over here that you'll be able to play with, even the estimates and EPS, you know, previous reports, so you can compare it with the past report to the current report and see how they're growing quarter to quarter, and more financials quickly on a second. You can just click on the financials over here, read about how exactly they've been growing year to year, or they've been slowing down from one year to another. For example, here 2023 to 2024, the market cap went down quite a bit, but then 2021 to 2022 went down, but then 23, 24, you can see how they basically went back up in price and market cap. Where's the revenue? Revenue growth, 8%, 38%. So on a quick little search, I don't have to go around looking at a million things to now do my homework for me on these stocks. I can just quickly use my one shop tool, Perplexity Finance. So it's been absolutely awesome. You know, for how much I I promote this company. I should technically, you know, be having my referral link out there for you guys to use, so you and I can both collect a quick little $10 off our next month. But hey, I promote it for free because I love it, and they just keep adding new tools. This is basically a new tool over here, and I can't wait to start using it more. Obviously, they don't report earnings at 10 a.m. They report in the pre-market, or they report after hours. These times are the times that the stocks have their conference call. Surprised to not see JP Morgan in this list. JP Morgan is to be reporting tomorrow pre-market. I guess their conference call is not scheduled. I'm not sure how that's gonna play out, but JP Morgan not on this list at the moment. Still a work in progress, but almost turning into a one-stop shop for me. Let's quickly take a look at the earnings board continued past tomorrow. ASML, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, J&J, Morgan Stanley, Alcoa, United Airlines, TSM, Pepsi. Actually, I didn't look at TSM today. Let me see how TSM is doing currently. Ooh, not bad. Kind of pulling back with the whole Nvidia news, I guess. You know how Nvidia is going to create China compliant chips. So TSM and Micron pulled back slightly, but they both went right back up. Pepsi has been on an absolute heater currently. Oh, I thought it was on a heater. Maybe I'm remembering the chart wrong. But Pepsi, you know, pulled back pretty drastically and now holding over here as a support, trying to go back up. We'll see if the earnings report ends up giving us a good trade over there somewhere down this week. More companies to report down the week. Texas Capital, I don't think I've ever traded that. Netflix, that's a big name. Interactive Brokers has been making a pretty good recovery recently. Right back to its all-time high. Wow, missing on that breakout. What a mistake. Missed out on that breakout. Is this all-time high? This is all-time high on Interactive Brokers, right as other financial stocks are reporting tomorrow too. Some beautiful move over here, and now trying to hold the 9-day moving average, and we'll see if the earnings report that comes out very soon, sometime this week, will take the stock higher. MRTN, what is that? Martin Transport? Trucking. Why do you have an airplane logo, dude? Come on. You're a logistics, transportation, trucking company, but you have an airplane logo? That kind of made me think you're a defense, like a Lockheed Martin or something. But I know Lockheed Martin's LMT, so I was confused by what Martin was. But anyways, moving on from that one. Walgreens Alliance, obviously that one's a good name from the past, from the silver. Damn, I'm forgetting the company's name. Silvergate Bank Investments, whatever. Those two banks that completely got dissolved. Is it FRC? FRC and SI? Ooh, I'm forgetting the names. I'm getting old, chat. So Western Alliance got absolutely destroyed on an insane recovery from that $7 bottom. Look at that move back up. Ever since then, volume has died down drastically. But yeah, I think it's going to be in that same no trade tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, when it does set up. Unless some volume pick back up on this name, then we can obviously take a look at that. 3M, SLB, American Express, Charles Schwab. So recently, a lot of accounts have been being closed by Charles Schwab, by TD Ameritrade, of small cap traders. Surprise, surprise. So we'll see if anything's going to show up on their earnings report over there on Friday. But tomorrow's main focus, as I have already showed you the watch list, a quick little glance at it previously. Let me show you it again. Starting with some defense names. If you don't know already, I'll tell you exactly why the defense names are up there in a bit. We got some earnings names, which are the bank names. We have some nuclear energy names, because Trump is excited about the AI and the nuclear sector again. Cryptocurrency names, obviously, no need to really explain why. Hims looking like it wants to go back up and actually could set up for a good long on the day trade and on the swing trade. So watching Hims, and then some of the large cap stocks that we always like to keep on watch. Actually forgetting to throw in some of the other names over here, such as Hood, SMCI, Hood, SMCI, Palantir, A-Lab, which pulled back today, sadly, so I'm not even sure if A-Lab is even interesting anymore. Where is ANET now? ANET just keeps on going, so that one's an absolute miss for me. I mean, technically, I could look to join the trend if the stock starts to look bullish above 110, but it's not really a setup. I'm just kind of chasing the name at that point, and I don't think the chase is worth it. A-Lab is also not really looking too good at the moment. Maybe we do get a bounce back up later on. Shopify could set up for some fun on the swing and on the day trade, so let's put up Shopify instead. And Spotify, how are you doing, Spotify? Oh my god, you suck. You shake me out in this area, and now you're at $700, $800 area. Anyways, we're gonna move on from Spotify. My list is big enough, so let's start from the top of the list. Top of the list, defense names. RTX. Why? If you guys remember when I first pointed out the RTX trade right around its earnings, or right around the all-time high, the previous all-time high breakout, which was 135, 138 zone. It was also when Israel, everything was happening, and you know, it just set up for such a clean breakout trade opportunity. So shout out for anyone who did take that. And now we're getting another opportunity over here with Trump saying he's going to supply Ukraine with weapons and so on. So if that news actually solidifies, then you're possibly looking for a move past the all-time high and some extension over here on RTX. Currently, the all-time high is basically today's high, 149.57. The previous all-time high before today was 149.26. So anywhere from 149 to 149.50. If the stock starts to show you some support above it, I think that's when you are very, very clear to start looking for the long over there. It's a no-brainer long at that point, given the catalyst, given the way the stock has behaved previously on similar catalysts, and also on, you know, invasions and war type of catalysts overall, and given the fact that the stock is at all-time high compared to other stocks in the similar sector, such as Lockheed Martin. I want to quickly check what Lockheed Martin looks like on the weekly chart, because someone posted on Twitter, JC Perez, if you're interested, to buy good stocks at the 200 moving average on the weekly chart. And I was doing some study about that, and that looked, you know, fairly good. And Lockheed Martin is not going bankrupt anytime soon. And you can see how every time LMT has dipped into its 200-day moving, 200 moving average weekly, 200 weekly moving average, it's basically held into that area and bounced. So Lockheed Martin possibly giving you a pretty good dip buy long in this area around 450. Your stop would be below 400 or even 420 if you want to be a little less tight, a little less wide on your stop over there. 419, 420 could be somewhere your stop. You get long in this area, you add on the breakout above 500, and then you look for a move continue to the north side if you are interested on that long big picture move to the north side, reclaim of the 200-day moving average, earnings in 8 days, and so on. So just a quick little idea that I'm throwing out there for those of you interested, but make sure that you know, you're using right stops and right position sizing, so you don't get hurt if the stock does report bad and get back under the $400 price. Look, if any stock that's below the 200-day moving average, it's not necessarily a good thing, but this stock is currently holding just slightly above the 200-week average. So very interested to see how this one will play out in 8 days or so when they report earnings. Right now with the Ukraine deal, they did get a little Ukraine news, they did pop up a little bit, but I think RTX is more in play for me. Boeing, another name that you can keep an eye on for the same defense catalyst. GE is another name you can keep an eye on. This one similar to RTX in the sense that it's not really at all-time highs. I was gonna say all-time highs, not really at its all-time highs, but at its 52-week high, and kind of like a bouncy ball. The top is not really flat. Hello. The top is not really flat. You can see how, however, it's previously bounced, popped into this area, rejected, and then bouncing back and then breaking through this area now. So kind of like a bouncy ball setup over here on GE, along with that news catalyst, 7 million shares into a new 52-week high. Another name that you want to possibly watch is Palantir. Though Palantir doesn't really have weapons and hardware that they ship to Ukraine, they could be software and actual AI capabilities that they help Ukraine out with. So Palantir over here, another name that I've cried about previously a lot, so I'm not gonna cry about it again. Making a beautiful move over here back into 150, giving you that undercut and reclaim multiple times. So basically the bigger moving average that you might want to play around is the 50-day moving average. Let the stock pull back, show you some buying around the 50-day, and then let it catch up and then bounce off. Or you can even, I don't know if you're interested, to look for the 150 breakout on Palantir for some reason. I'm not too sure. I'll be looking for that on the swing trade. But on the day side, I will for sure be watching Palantir to get above 150 for some possible trades. And I think Palantir, did I add double Palantir? I did. So Palantir around that 150 area. If it does get above it, it's either under or over, right? Pretty simple idea. You're either getting above 150 and you're not holding below, or and you're staying above 150 on every single dip, or you're going above 150 but then you're getting back under it and you're not able to get back above on every single push to the north side. So pretty simple idea over there on Palantir. This will be the catalyst day 2 for the Ukraine news, so it's not really like a fresh catalyst news, so just keep that in mind. And NOC, another name that you can potentially express this trade idea on. Sadly, the volume is very, very dead, and the stock is also like a $500 price, so it's not really that exciting to keep an eye on as a day trade. Now, let's go to also big, beautiful Golden Dome play, LMT. I didn't think LMT makes the Golden Dome. I thought RTX was part in, it was in partnership with Israeli defense to make the RTX, at least from my last time I did research on it. Or maybe it was Lockheed Martin and I keep getting confused. Either way, they're both in play to keep an eye on. For that news overall. The Golden Dome, is it the Golden Dome? The Iron Dome. What is the Golden Dome? Is the Golden Dome now the American Iron Dome or something that Lockheed Martin's making? That'll be pretty interesting if that's what it is. But coming to the next stock now, away from the defense sector, we're gonna go to a stock that just got announced with a brand new news catalyst. News catalyst is that Trade Desk is going to be added into the S&P 500 index. So nice move back above $85. You can see how it created a flag above 85, and then it broke that flag, boom, right back to the upside, and now it's creating some sort of a support above the previous high. So showing you that buyers are willing to step back up. At this point, the stock might just gap up tomorrow, right? Expecting a gap up somewhere into 90s, 93s or so, and then a pullback for us to get long. As long as the stock is holding above 85 on a dip, 86, 87, I don't care what that price is above 85. As long as it's finding buyers above 85, I am ready to go long. If it's failing to hold 85, that's when the game kind of changes on the stock. Maybe you're seeing some real profit taking coming into play. The stock has previously struggled. It has had sellers in this area, and maybe the seller is letting the stock go a little bit higher to kind of take that profits now, or whatever the reason is. They had sellers in this area now, and if they do want to show back up, they're going to use this news catalyst to ride it back down. However, S&P 500 inclusion is not a joke. There are stocks that you could compare it to. For example, Datadog. Datadog had an insane move to the upside the day it got announced. The next day, then it started slowing down, and you had that gap fill, which your boy called it out for you. If this area broke down, you were gonna get that gap fill most likely, and it ended up playing that way. So study previous stocks that got announced, that got previously announced to get added into the S&P 500 index, and Trade Desk is one of them. Yuri's in the house. What's up, Yuri? most of you guys, if you've been watching Trader TV Live from way back in the day, Yuri was one of the OG chat members. He recently reconnected with me on Discord. So good to see you in the chat. What's up, Yuri, brother? Happy to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're having a great night. Trade desk, like I said, 85 key level. Could even be worth for a swing trade. Could even be worth for sure worth for the day trade as long as it's holding above 85. For the swing now, the sad part is I think the stock would be a little extended. Let me just go use my other indicators over here to see if it is. So if it does pop into, where is it? So we are not that far away from the 50-day moving average, and if we do pop into $90, we would be only 25% away from the 50-day moving average. The stock's ATR is about $2.5, so that would be like 16, 17, 8 to 20. So about like 5 ATR, I think. I might be doing the math wrong over there, but not that far extended. You would still be below the 200-day moving average. The ideal game plan, the best game plan would be that the stock does something like this, reclaims the 200-day, builds some support above the 200-day. Oh, is that my signal to take profits on Dell? However, we did close above the 9-day moving average, so I guess that's not my reason to close profit on Dell just yet. AMD, right over here, how it reclaims the 200-day, so potentially that this news catalyst will take the stock higher. Once the stock is getting added to the S&P 500 index, other hedge funds who announced that they are going to give you S&P 500 returns. If I was a hedge fund, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I was a hedge fund and I promised you S&P 500 returns, it is my due diligence, it is my duty to make sure that I have trade desk at the same portfolio percentage that S&P 500 does, but before the day that S&P 500 actually adds it to their index. So I might try to front run S&P 500 and try to get a better price, because then I will basically get a little bit better return on than the SPY. If I do this over the long run, right, I would have a better price, I would get a better return, and overall I would give my investors a over slight percentage better, which I could pocket on at the end of the day. So that's the idea that you will start seeing happen to play. That's why Datadog ran up the way it did. So we're gonna possibly see some fun opportunities on Trade Desk. Hopefully some pullbacks to get long into, and it's not just insanely going up to the north side all day tomorrow, at which point I might have to look short if we do get into 100. If the stock is opening up and you know, just ripping to $100 area, I'm expecting $100 area to have some sort of a size, some sort of resistance tomorrow, and look to get short on the way back through 100. But if we open somewhere between 85 to 90, I am only looking long. I am not looking short if the stock is looking below 85 to opening between 85 to $90 area. So just an idea over there as to what I'm looking to do on Trade Desk. NBIS. This is another name that our good friend Barkey wanted us to take a look at. We sadly had to take a loss on this name as it did get back under 45, but I took a loss at 48 on this name. Well, I don't know what the news catalyst is. Maybe it's just, oh yeah, it is. The overall news catalyst basically being that, where is it? Overall news catalyst being, I guess it's not on here, but give me a second. It should be right here. So continued momentum in the AI sector, but also Trump's slated to unveil $70 billion package in AI and energy infrastructure. So NBIS being in the AI infrastructure area, obviously using that catalyst to boost itself back up. The key level now would be 55. They already shook me out, but I am more than happy to get back in on this trade if it sets up again. It did hurt me once though, so let's pray that it doesn't hurt again. when it sets up. So NBIS for sure on watch going into that 55 area for a day trade, potentially a short over there. For the swing trade, that's more important to see if the stock will get above it or not. Where's my goddamn chart? There we go. If the stock can get above it or not. So NBIS, we kind of just leave it alone for now because it's still going to take some time to mature. Next up, we're going to go into the banking sector. The stocks that report earnings tomorrow. JP Morgan, very close to its all-time high. Took a little siesta, moved back into the 21-day moving average. Trying to reclaim the 9-day moving average now and then push back into the all-time high. If it reports well and starts opening above 296, 295 and holds above this area tomorrow, easy long at that point. I think a lot of these stocks are going to be looking very similar, so the idea is exactly the same. Pick the stock that has better liquidity for yourself. You know, look where the volume is, look what stock is giving you the chart that you are familiar with trading, what setups you can explore on these. Citibank and Wells Fargo should be doing pretty similar overall. Which one does more volume? I think, yeah, pretty similar, not much difference over there. JP Morgan obviously should do a lot less volume and should be a lot more spready. So if you're interested to you also trade a lower price stock that's doing a lot more volume, be able to get away with better spreads, I think Wells Fargo and Citigroup might be the one. But if you trade better with bigger spreads and you can take advantage of stocks that have bigger ATR moves in general, then maybe JP Morgan is the one for you, because ideally the stock moves $5 in a day. On earnings day, you can get 2 times the ATR. You can get a $10 move. You can get a 1.5 ATR move, right? So Wells Fargo, Citigroup, these are $1, $2 ATR moves at best on the day, so not really as volatile as JP Morgan. So make sure you're picking the right poison to drink, because you might not come out alive at the end of the day. STT, State Street, I love this one. Very, very low on volume though. Liquidity is absolutely dog for a bank name to keep an eye on, but I like the way this chart is setting up right into its all-time high. It's a little bit lower than the all-time high. Let me go to my other chart. It's a little bit lower than the all-time high, but we're right there. We're right under it, going into 110 today, 111. So beautiful flag right before the earnings report. And if we do report well, I think State Street easily goes into the all-time high of, what is that, 114. And if the report's really good, we got to start getting above 114 and holding above that. Did I type 144? 114 is the level to keep an eye on. Inflection for tomorrow, I guess you could say 111. So we have a zone between 111 to 114 that could potentially come into play, and a nice little range for us to trade within. And if the stock breaks out above 114, a nice long on the day and on the swing. Depends on how good the earnings report is to keep an eye out for. Wells Fargo, I think, was 83 bucks was the all-time high. 84 bucks was the all-time high. So that is your inflection level. And Citigroup should be 89 bucks. 88. Wow. So that should be your key level right there for all of these stocks. So those are going to be my purple for those of you who've been watching the stream for long enough. I know Mr. Yuri hasn't been watching me for a long time now. So my purple colored are my highest priority names that I like to keep an eye on. Blue, orange color after that are the second tiered names that I like to keep an eye on. After that, blue, and then anything that I have no color are kind of just like, they're just on the watch. I like the name, I like the sector, I want to see what's going on in them. Talking about liking names and liking sectors, something that I don't have on my watch list at all, and you know, is a shame on my part, is the drone sector. The drone sector is kind of flying off to the north side, pun intended. FLT, my drone stock, my baby, about to actually you know, break even, almost going into only being down 50% on this name in this area. So very excited to see what's going on in the drone sector. Obviously, what was it, Hexet? Was it Pete Hexet? the defense or the Minister of War, is that what his name is now? Secretary of War announced that he wants more drones being created in America and so on. So Red Cat, AVAV, UMAC, ACHR, all of them catching traction and for sure need to be on the watch list. They're not on the watch list today for some reason because I'm stupid. But RCAT might be something for sure to keep an eye on. As it's getting a little extended. Day 1, day 2, day 3. And if you're following me on Twitter, I posted an awesome study note today that I reviewed. This guy, Yanni Trades, interview from Kinfo. And he talks about how he trades the setup called exhaustion setups, right? Basically looking for intraday reversals. And for that, he looks for a stock that makes 2 times, 3 times ATR move, or actually it's 4 times ATR move in 5 days period. And that could very much be coming to play with RCAT very soon as we start going a little crazy. Is this RCAT? 1 day chart, please. RCAT, as we're now starting to get a little bit extended and a little parabolic, so a little bit more parabolic to the upside, going into possibly $11 or so. RCAT should set up for a very awesome day trade somewhere into backside scalp short. So watching how this one sets up. But right now, look at that halfway point of this big candle held, blasted off. Those levels are very important. I've been telling you this for a long time now. So keep an eye out for these high volume candles, midpoints, because the next day they hold, they usually do this, or they trade a little bit sideways for a couple days, wait for the moving averages to catch up, and then they blast off by creating a flag, at which point your risk is also very defined. Your risk is right there and you're going long very close to it. Look how big of a move you would have ended up getting out of that bad boy. So RCAT, watching this one without a doubt. Let me just quickly add somewhere in here. Going into the next few days, I don't think there's a day trade on this one today, or sorry, I should say tomorrow, until we go into that $11 area. So maybe there might be a setup tomorrow if it does gap up. Hopefully, yeah, let's pray for it. Let's look for a gap up, and we can look to fade that gap up. We can look to fade that gap up. Next up, BlackRock. I'm joking. BlackRock is not really a stock I would be trading at all for the day trade, so it's just something to completely delete out of the watch list. I could kind of talk about it for the swing, but I'm not going to swing it. One thing to note is the 50-day moving average seems to be now crossing the 200-day moving average, so you got the golden cross coming into play not too long ago, maybe sometime last week or so, on BlackRock. Moving on from BlackRock, we're going to go to BK, a stock that just broke out from its all-time high, bounced very beautifully off of the 200-day moving average over here, off the Trump tariff nonsense, and day before its earnings report, almost like somebody knows something. You got a volume spike, you got a big breakout into an all-time high, so we'll see if there's continuation on this name. Usually when stocks do something like that, somebody knows something, so obviously interested to see how this one plays out. I think even if it does go back into these ranges tomorrow, it's not an easy short, so the only trade I care about is the long on this name, and would be better to see the stock actually gapping up a little bit higher, pulling back, holding on the dip after the original back and forth nonsense, and then giving us some sort of a long over there. But Bank of Mellon, you know, it also depends how far it gaps up tomorrow. If it gaps up into ridiculous prices, then maybe the better trade is the short. So watching this one for sure. Let me just quickly put some notes. Not interested. Great. Stock needs to be below 87.50 for me to give a shit about looking for a short on this name at all tomorrow for a day trade. Mostly we'll be looking to see how it behaves on the pops. STT, love the name, look to trade in the range of 111 to 114. I guess it depends on what it does pre-market, so I'll just kind of leave that one alone. I know exactly what I'm doing with most of these stocks, so I kind of don't need notes for it. But BK, I might forget that I'm not interested in the short, so I had to put it over here. If stock gaps up and sets up for a backside short, love the trade. Okay, INKT. Let's watch INKT. The stock actually had the first red day move today. Monster move on Friday from $20 into, I mean, what the heck are we talking about here? So first red day today, possibly more leakage tomorrow if it does get back under today's low. Today's VWAP will be an interesting level to keep an eye on. So that's around $42. So $42, keep an eye out for. Notice how yesterday's VWAP, basically stock popped into yesterday's VWAP and immediately got slammed down from there. You could even potentially throw in an anchored VWAP from the all-time high, or not all-time high, the most recent high, and you can see how right into that area it kind of starts to struggle and not really have much follow through. So MINK Therapeutics, or INKT ticker, looking to see if this one can pop right back into today's VWAP, or even that high VWAP from the couple days ago, and then reject from somewhere around this area to set up for a short. I have seen where usually stocks don't really give you that day 3 right under. For example, BMNR actually gave you that day 3 right under. You get a day 3 of possible move back up and then a day 4 back down. But BMNR did give you that beautiful day 3 to the south side. So anything is possible. We'll keep an eye out for it. Oh, there you go. It actually didn't. Day 3 it went up, and then day 4 it broke down. So that's kind of what I'm expecting on INKT. So watching how it sets up tomorrow, maybe day 3 you get a pop, and then day 4 we get the nice flush to keep an eye out for. Obviously makes the watch list without a doubt. OKLO and other energy names are moving back up at the moment. Nice little undercut and then reclaim back above the 9 and the 21-day moving average for most of these energy names, nuclear energy names I should say, SMR, NNE, and OKLO. So watch these ones without a doubt, as they are now possibly worth for some swing trades and for some day trades. The fact that OKLO is holding up here is pretty surprising to me. I will throw that out there. MSTR going parabolic again. Let's see it. Well, I shouldn't say it's going parabolic, but it's starting to making the move that could possibly get crazy. So let's get excited, because I do have some in MSTU, and we'll obviously love watching MSTU going up as MSTR is going up, as Coinbase is going up, as IBIT is going up, and all because Bitcoin is going up. Bitcoin sadly struggling a little bit around 120,000 at the moment. Yesterday's VWAP 120,000, 69.6. Love it. So we'll see if Bitcoin can get back above and continue its rally. My target, I've already said it, 426.90. So let's see if that target comes into play by the end of the year. In terms of trade ideas for these, they've already played out. If you weren't in these already for a swing trade, if you're reading this now, it's too late, okay? So these stocks have already started to move up on the day trades, on swing trades, and all other baskets. Now, you're being patient, you're taking profits, and for the swing trades, that is, and for the day trades, you're waiting for a setup to actually come into play. Maybe you can look for an intraday 5-minute pattern, an intraday opening range breakout or something like that to play these stocks with, but I'm gonna be more patient and actually trade stocks that have a fresh catalyst for the day trade basket, a stock that has an actual clean setup at the moment for me to abuse, which are these bank names that we've already talked about, right? So those are the purple stocks that I've already mentioned on the day today. OKLO, SMR, NNE might be worth keeping an eye on as a secondary list of names to watch if they do give you some sort of a setup. But besides that, I'm not really, why am I like talking like I have a list. Besides that, I don't really see anything special about any of these other names, especially the crypto names for the day trade basket at the moment. Circle and that cryptocurrency basket, volume kind of going back up higher, but not really. I'm not interested. HIMS, volume slightly higher today than the last few days, but still lower than the 20-day moving average. The more important thing is actually right here. So we saw the reject from the 52 area, but a nice pop right back up into the 52 today. So any move back above 52 tomorrow and then a hold above 52, or any of these few days coming from now. So why did I say it so weirdly? The rest of the week or next month or whenever this opportunity comes up, when the stock starts to hold above 52, I think we got a good long over here on HIMS to keep an eye out for the swing. I might have to bite the bullet and look forward to get long a little bit on HIMS. I am a little hesitant to buy, any healthcare tech stocks always. But we'll see. We'll see if this one sets up for a swing trade. The day trade 52, obviously worth keeping an eye on. NVIDIA announced that they're going to be creating chips with compliance to sell to China. So on that news, Micron TSM pushed a little bit lower today, and I think there could be a low catalyst setup. I mean, both of them really took out the low, but then they closed above the low. So the question would now be, are we holding above 118 or are we holding below 118 on Micron? Similarly, TSM, lower volume, so not really as exciting. So Micron kind of gets, a little bit of a higher priority because of that reason. TSM didn't even make it to the watch list, really. So Micron doesn't really belong in the purple, but I will say 118 is important. If we do continue to hold 118, then that news is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But if Micron does seem to start hold below 118, and then other semiconductor stocks are looking weak also, then it's potentially a good trade to look for a short move back down for the day trade for sure. So watching how Micron sets up tomorrow. AMD on the flip side, looking for a great long on AMD coming into play if we do get above the 147.75. 1, 2, 3 days continuous resistance off that 147.75 on Micron on AMD. So if AMD can get above 148, I would love to take advantage of this trade over here. Expecting something this week actually for this to play out. So 148 even on the swing account. Have been out of AMD for a very long time. So if AMD can, look at that, another stock over here that has kind of shown you the theory that you buy good companies around the 200 weekly moving average. For example, Apple. I wouldn't say Apple is a good company, but if you buy good companies at the 200 weekly moving average, I mean, you're never really crying. Look at that, right? Microsoft, Amazon, which is not too far out from there now. It's a 200 weekly over here. I wish I would have bought some over there. Tesla. So pretty good thing to read and then back test manually by ourselves to watch how it plays out. AMD coming back to the chart on the 1 day. So AMD 147.75/148, we're above it. I'm ready to go long on the swing and on the day trade. I already have NVIDIA on the swing, so nothing really to do over there for the swing account other than trail my stop higher with the 9-day moving average. Once the stock closes below the 9-day, I say thank you and move away from my trade, and I look for a new setup on NVIDIA. So watching how NVIDIA continues to go. Same thing with Robinhood and most of my other names out there in my portfolio. So that's basically a quick little shout out to those names. Amazon looking like it wants to continue going higher. Let's go Amazon. It's one of my highest weighted stocks in my portfolio at the moment. So obviously would love to see Amazon charge into 250 and higher. Keep going, baby. I've trimmed a lot of Robinhood, so I don't really have as much Robinhood anymore. SMCI would love for that bad boy to continue going up. But Shopify was the name that I want to talk about. potentially a breakout on Shopify above 118 that could make us excited, that could get us excited for the swing and the day trade. So put your alerts, make sure have your alerts on the key areas so you don't miss out when they actually play out. It's very easy to miss out if you don't have these alerts. So Shopify 118, HIMS 52. I'm gonna have to set 2 just in case. HIMS 52. Micron, not as a high priority. I'm not gonna bother putting an alert for that one, and then I'm already gonna be watching all of these names without a doubt anyways. Don't really see anything too exciting on the large cap stocks at the moment. I've already mentioned Amazon for you. That does look better than previously. Google looks like it's wanting to break out at the moment, so that could be a name that you know, if you're interested to open up some more AI exposure, some more large cap exposure. If you don't have enough, that could be a name to put your money through. But there are, you know, some worries that Google is going to potentially take a hit from the browser battle, but Google still should come out ahead in the AI battle. They're a big tech company, so we'll see how that plays out. Microsoft holding above a 500 area, that's pretty good, but I don't think there's any trade there. I don't really see any specific trade on Nvidia either playing out, nor on Tesla. So the large caps just kind of shove them to the side. I know small caps have been very, very active at the moment, so shout out to the small cap stocks. Even in the cryptocurrency sector, BTCM, BTC this, BTC that. Any company that recently announced they're holding on to Bitcoin stocks on their portfolio, such as, where is it? Nope, that wasn't it. SBET. So any of these random companies that previously announced they're gonna hold Ethereum or Bitcoin, or recently have announced that they're going to hold Bitcoin, are all kind of, you know, in the same cryptocurrency basket to keep an eye out for. But yeah, I think that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. Talked about my most important stocks on the day trade side and on the swing trade side to keep an eye out for tomorrow. I wish you the best on most of these names, on all of these names. But what I'm trying to say is I wish you the best on all of these names. Make sure you apply risk management, because at the end of the day, you can lose money trading. Trading is not about making money all day. It's very easy to also lose money on trading. These goddamn ads on Google Chrome now. Google Chrome just makes me want to not use Google Chrome anymore, man. I might have to start moving to Opera browser, because Google Chrome... you're doing it, Google Chrome. You're doing it. You're making me want to quit. Good job. We're using chat Opera browser from now on for everything day trading, okay? Or at least for the stream, I mean. Delete group! Watch it crash my computer now, chat. Watch this shit crash. Okay. Coming back, we got a couple things left to talk about. So talked about all the important things on the day. Let me just quickly hide my screen and log in. Sign in with Google. Yes, that's me. All right, there you go. My settings are saved. So tomorrow we do have CPI. That's important without a doubt. 830 CPI, potentially market mover off that number. We'll see if the CPI is hotter or colder. And then you have the banks reporting also. So CPI, banks reporting, very important. The pre-market tomorrow coming out. And then you have a Fed member at 9:15, another Fed member at 2:45. So a couple important time periods to keep an eye out for. Once again, 8:30, 9:15, and 12:45 are the important times tomorrow to keep an eye out for. In the IPO calendar, I don't think there's, oh my god, flashbang. IPO calendar, there is nothing exciting for July yet, so we're just gonna move past that one and wait for something fun to show up. Majestic Ideal Holdings, $20 million IPO. It's not the smallest, it's not the biggest. Maybe we'll see what they do going into July 18th, which is at the end of this week. So make sure July 17th you're tuning into the stream, because obviously we're going to be talking about possibly MJID. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the stream today. We had Wayne Wang come into play. Have you heard of the new IPO DNIYM? I'm not gonna... Nah, I think you're bullshitting me. Yeah, I think this is one of those ha gotcha type of things, right? Got him. It's one of those got him kind of things. I'm not trying to fall for it, buddy. Not gonna fall for it. Great content, buddy. Happy trading. Thank you, Yuri. Appreciate that. TH Hexet. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Prad. Great show. All right, guys. I guess that's about it. Hope my 2-3 viewers enjoyed the stream today, and come back tomorrow and we can talk about more fun stuff. I'm gonna get off stream now. I'll clip up some of the content from today and quickly throw up on social media. So make sure you follow me on all social medias. All the links in the description below, obviously. So make sure you go check them out. And all my sponsors, shout out to my sponsors: Benzinga, Trade Ideas, Traders Sync, Traders Insight, and Flash Research. The discount codes for all of those are also in the link tree link down below. Go check it out. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the next stream. TraderPrad out. Peace. After the after hours with your host TraderPrad, I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors: Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Traders Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.